Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl, Erica, the author, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Happy Sunday. I hope your day has gotten off to a great start. I'm here to do my weekly review of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Now we got to talk, guys, because this particular episode, it was really, really good. If you don't know, the main event was LaTisha versus Destiny. I got a lot to say about that, but we'll get to it. So let's just get into it. Like you said, as you know me, I have all my notes. You see, I even pulled out the highlighter this time, y'all, because I did not want to forget little things. You know, most of the time when you're reviewing a show, you pretty much know the layout of the show. You know how it went. You know what the scenes were and who was in the scenes and what was being said. But then sometimes you can't forget little things. So I just thought I would just take my notes and really highlight some things. So let's get into it. The opening scene was with Destiny and Kimmi. Kimmi was at her office and Destiny was meeting her there. Destiny looked really cute when she came and she had like a little short set on. It was like actually like a suit with the blazer and the shorts, but it was really, really cute. Looks really cute all the time anyway. For the most part, when we see Destiny really looks nice. She's just a pretty lady, but I just thought Destiny looked really cute and prissy, and we'll talk more about that later, but I liked it. She sat down with Kimmi, and I think she had to actually bring in some contracts. So they have actually done a partnership in the real estate business. So she brought over the necessary contracts. Kimmi was happy about that. Of course, Destiny was kind of telling Kimmi, like, girl, you were sending me several, you sent me several emails and this, that, and the other. Like, girl, I was coming. And Kimmi was like, well, that's how the business is. Well, let me just stop there. Kimmi and Destiny are not friends. They're not really, they're just cool for the show. You can tell that in your normal daily life that Kimmi and Destiny really would not hang out with each other. I think Kimmi looks at Destiny, you can tell Kimmi's a little judgy of Destiny, and I could just tell Destiny is not Kimmi's tea, but vice versa. I could tell that Destiny probably feels like Kimmi's just a little too serious or a little too sort of stuck up in her own way. So they would never really, really be friends outside of this show. So let me just clear that up. But anyway, they did talk about the business. Once Kimmi looked over the contracts, Destiny said that she was very proud of Kimmi because Kimmi actually owns, she's one of the first to own it's a Black-owned licensing company, and kudos to her. Everyone's not going to be a business owner. That's just not everyone's forte. Everyone doesn't really have that knack to actually run a business. But if you do, kudos to you. And if you're able to be successful at it and you have, a lot of customers or you get a lot of patronage, that is a good thing. So Destiny did congratulate Kim for having this. It's actually a title company. If I said licensing, I'm sorry, but it's a title company. And so they were just, talking about that. And it's good to see Black people doing that, especially Black women. When Black women can do things like that, I certainly, take my hat off or tip my hat off to them. Congratulations, Kimmi, for being one of the first Black-owned title companies. I don't know if it's just Huntsville or in the South or whatever the case may be. I didn't do the research, but she did say that she was one of the first ones. So congratulations on that. So they just got into a little conversation. Of course, Chris Fletcher came up and his whole issue with his actual real estate license. Destiny she did not say much. You can tell that the wheels in Destiny's head was turning because she knows that she is pretty cool with Nell. And she just didn't really know where Kimmi was coming from, but she listened. Kimmi told Destiny with the whole situation. She said, Nell and I've had our issues. She said, when it came up, I didn't really know whether to reach out to Nell or not. She said, I felt like it probably wasn't the best thing for me to do, which was to reach out to her. And Destiny kind of agreed with her. Kimmi said, of course, you're cool with her or whatever, it's a little different from me. And Destiny agreed and said, yeah, it is. Destiny said, but things seem to be going well. She said, I don't have a problem with Nell. She said, although we had our little issue, I really don't have a problem with Nell. So she was talking about how Nell seems to really be taking on a whole lot, and she could see that Nell was really going through something. And so, like I said, Destiny was sort of taking baby steps in this conversation. She did not say anything out of pocket, but she agreed with Kimmi. And of course, Destiny is cooler with Nell than Kimmi or LaTisha are. So then Kimmi brings up LaTisha, and she says, you and LaTisha, you guys are cool, right? And so Destiny said, yeah, we are. Now, mind you, already during the conversation, Destiny has already said that she's trying to, be a better communicator. She's actually, Destiny has said she's actually in therapy, which is a good thing. I think, there's a stigma with therapy sometimes, and oftentimes we don't want to go, but hey, I'm sure if we're all honest, we probably all could use a little couch work. So I applaud Destiny for taking the steps forward to try to just be a better communicator and a better person. So she did mention that during their conversation. So when LaTisha was brought up, Destiny did not say a whole lot. Destiny only said that she said LaTisha has like friendship Tourette's. And I hope I can say the word Tourette's, but she said we have friends. She said LaTisha has friendship Tourette's. And she said because LaTisha's the type of person, she'll think that everything is okay. And then she'll come back and say, I'm mad at you. And, they'll get back on the up and up again, and everything seems to be all right, and Destiny think they're cool, and then Tisha's like, I'm mad at you again. So Destiny was kind of joking around in that manner, and Kimmi was sort of taking it in, and Kimmi was like, yeah, but you need to work on your tone, and you need to work on this, and yeah, I understand what you're saying, but then sometimes you come across a certain way. And Destiny, she did not deny it, and so Destiny said, yeah, my tone can be a little harsh and a little brash, but again, I'm going to therapy, I'm working on these things, and I want to be at a more peaceful place. So I don't want to argue with LaTisha. I want us to be okay, and I hope things can be all right. Now, let me just put a pin right there. Kimmi's talking to Destiny. Kimmi's talking to Destiny about LaTisha. Mind you, Destiny said nothing wrong. We'll keep this in mind. Destiny said nothing wrong about LaTisha, other than the fact that LaTisha is the type of person that she's in and out, and she will bring up situations at an inopportune time. And just when you think that everything is good, it's not actually good. Okay, Destiny was not disrespecting Tisha. She said nothing nasty about LaTisha or toward LaTisha. She was just giving her opinion because she was asked. Destiny would not even normally talk to someone like Kimmi about LaTisha. They're filming a show, and she was doing a scene with Kimmi. If Destiny wanted to talk about LaTisha to anyone, she could do it with Nell because she's cool with Nell, and she could do it with Martell because they are extremely close. So Kimmi is not a person that Destiny would talk to LaTisha about. Keep that in mind, guys. But of course, they kept going on and on. Kimmi wanted to drag it out. Destiny says she's just pretty tired of LaTisha being in and out. But again, she's open and willing to have a cordial friendship, or for them to try to get their friendship back on track. That was the end of that scene. We'll get to it soon. All right, so the next thing we see Ken. Ken is out having lunch with one of his close friends, Will. We've seen Will in the past. Will has been on the show pretty much now for the past, maybe, he's been on there for about a season or two now. So we're pretty familiar with Will. Apparently, Ken is... he's seeing someone else. He told Will, Will brought up the fact that he was shocked that actually Ken had decided to go to Nashville. He decided to go to Nashville for some young lady's birthday party. Apparently, this is someone that Ken is interested in. Will said he was pretty shocked that Latricia wasn't going with him, and he was also surprised that Ken seemed to be so open about it. From what I could understand, or I wasn't sure, you guys let me know if you saw the episode. Did did Will say that he actually went with Ken, or did he just know about the fact that Ken went? Because from my take on it, it was that Will actually went to Nashville with him. Will was saying that the girl was really, really cute. She was a pretty lady. Ken said that she's a traveling nurse. She has it all together. She's doing her whole thing. Apparently, Ken is sort of being out in public with her. He's actually taking, or has taken, pictures with her. And one of the things that Ken said, he said, "Oh, well, she's softer than Latricia. She's more of a, what did he say? He said, she's softer and more feminine than Latricia." Okay, so we're gonna put in a pin up. We're gonna put a pin in it right there, and I wrote here in my notes, "It's over." Ken, if you feel like, first of all, you know how Latricia is. You've been with Latricia now for years. You know that she wasn't soft when you met her. You know that she's not soft today. How is it that it was okay for you to deal with it in the beginning or earlier on, but now that you're getting all this attention from other women's, now all of a sudden it's the worst thing in the world? Latricia has always said that she's had a hard time expressing herself. I don't think she's lied or pretended about that. It's just what it is, especially knowing what she went through with her ex-husband Marquez. Latricia doesn't say a lot, and she doesn't respond to a lot. She probably could do better in that area, but that's something that she's going to have to work on for herself, not specifically for you, Ken. And so now Ken is out and about with this other lady. He wants to show this other lady off. He wants to make Latricia jealous. And again, I wrote, it's over. You and Latricia need to go your separate ways. Ken wants Latricia to chase after him. The pictures were actually even sent to Latricia. And when Latricia saw the pictures, Latricia didn't say anything. And I know that ate him up, because he wanted Latricia to be angry. He wanted Latricia to be jealous. He wanted it to make her insecure. He wanted it to make her come crawling back to him or running back to him and expressing how much she loves him. Latricia has already said that she does love Ken and she does want them to work things out, but the reaction that Ken was looking for, he didn't get it. And to me, I'm thinking, Ken, you are very immature. When you first came on the show, I applauded you for being, just sort of stepping in and really helping Latricia out with the kids. It seems like the kids really loved you and cared about you, and they were glad that you were around. But I see that you have a lot of immature ways, and you're really not even ready for this relationship. If Latricia doesn't satisfy you anymore or give you what you need, then you need to step off altogether. You don't need to try to make her life a living hell because you want her to be jealous, or you want to sort of provoke and get some type of reaction out of her, because that's not who Latricia is. She's not going to do that. And he even said that Latricia's not that way. She doesn't react the same way. Well, if you know that she doesn't react that way, Ken, why are you wasting your time doing it? So you're parading this other woman around who's probably putting her trust in you, thinking that you really want to be in a relationship with her, and you really want to be with her, or you really like her, when all you're trying to do is actually make Latricia jealous. I don't like it. Ken and Latricia, I don't know what they're going to do after this, but I just think that, they need to call it quits altogether. So that was the end of their scene. So LaTisha and Marcel go golfing. I thought that was a cute little date for them. A lot of, Black people were getting into golf now and stuff like that. So I thought that was a cute little date. So they were discussing MJ. MJ is their oldest child. He's their son. And he's getting ready for college. They were talking about how, just proud. Well, LaTisha was talking about how proud she is of MJ and how he's handling everything, and how, he's ready for, pretty much young adulthood and that next phase of his life. Kimmi, Tisha also told Marcel I guess they were sitting down. LaTisha told Marcel that Kimmi told her that Destiny was talking about her. And I wrote, Kimmi is just being messy, because Kimmi actually brought up LaTisha, not Destiny. Destiny would not have even mentioned anything probably about LaTisha had Kimmi not said anything. Tisha said that now Destiny is definitely in that don't trust that whole box. So LaTisha, when you said that, you meant that. I said it. If you've been watching my videos for a while, guys, I told you that Destiny was going to be the target, that LaTisha was going to try to make Destiny out to be a horrible friend and a horrible person. And she's doing it now. So she said that's what box that Destiny is in. Okay, cool. So Tisha, if you feel that way, then you need to stop being friends with Destiny altogether. Because when you can't trust a person, or you feel like they're not your friend, then you don't need to try anymore. When you work on a friendship, that's because you feel like the friendship is salvageable, and you feel like, you can sort of be yourself, but also that you're willing to forgive that person. If you're not willing to forgive that person, or to move on from what perhaps angered you or upset you in the beginning, then you need to move on, because apparently it's like a broken record with LaTisha, and she's going to rehash it over and over and over and over and over again. And that doesn't work, especially in a friendship, in a mutual friendship. You can't beat another person down to absolutely nothing, and this person is trying to be your friend. Like, it's like you can't have it both ways. So Marceau said that Chris is also in a box. Marceau said that some of their friendships are frail at this point. And I wrote down that, yeah, it is, because they made it that way. LaTisha has had many issues in her friendships over the years, from Mel to Kimmi to Destiny to, whomever else she's gotten into it with. And Marceau has also done the same thing. Marceau has gotten into it with a lot of these guys and, some of the women over the years, because he's saying whatever he wants to say, just like Martell. Marceau dug into Martell for years, seasons upon seasons. Marceau said whatever he wanted to say to Martell. He shaded Martell. He threw nasty jokes at Martell, because he knew that the public hated Martell. So he knew he could get away with that. And okay, that's rightfully so, because a lot of people really genuinely do not like Martell for what he did to Mel. Rightfully so. But you don't get away with that forever. So Martell sat back in the cut. He didn't say much, but when the opportunity presented itself, and Martell got tired of it, he got him. And he sprayed him with his own tea. He told him, look, this is what it is. I know you. I've been hanging around you forever. This is what you've been doing. And now all of a sudden, Marceau wants to act like Martell is such a bad man. Oh my God. He said this about my wife. He said this about me. And there's, Martell, I just can never forgive him. Well, should Martell forgive you for being his friend and saying all the things that you said about him over the years? So that's what I'm saying. It's like it's a double standard with the Scotts. And I see that with Marceau and LaTisha. Their friendships, they want to do things the way they want to do it, and then come back and play the victim. And that ain't cool. I don't like that. I do believe that Tisha is a genuine person. I do believe that LaTisha can be a very nice person. But I see something there with LaTisha now, that it's like LaTisha has to have her way in everything, and that's just not how it goes. And so that's what they were talking about. So Marceau even mentioned, as they continue to talk about their friendships, Marceau mentioned that he had an argument with Maurice about Jordan Lane. Marceau said that he knows that Maurice is getting pressure from Kimmi, and that even Maurice, even threatened to sue him. Marceau also during that, so Tisha was a little taken aback by it. Marceau said that he also called Maurice a slimy lawyer. And, Tisha was like, well, hey, that wasn't necessarily right. But like I said, their friendships are fragile, because they're putting their mouths in places where they don't actually belong. And so, something happened where they were talking, and LaTisha said that she found out that Destiny had a listing, and she said that the listing was coming up, and LaTisha said she's going to basically go and talk to Destiny at this particular listing. And Marceau was like, look, you have to worry about your image. You're a PTA mom. You have to be mindful of your behavior. And LaTisha was like, I don't want to hear that. Whatever the case may be, I'm going to talk to Destiny, and I'm going to get this straightened out. So Destiny and Nell, they actually go to a spa. They're getting a pedicure, but they're getting a lymphatic pedicure. And so they started just talking. Nell seemed like she was happy to be at the outing. Nell and Destiny seem to be really cool now. I know it's something new. They weren't always like this. They seem to have always been pretty cool and cordial. They had some bumps in the road, but I think they've gotten on track now. So Nell told Destiny that she's been really, really busy. She said now she's trying to get everything right for her store called Posh and Prissy, which I think is really cute. I hope it does well. I don't really know what kind of clothing store it will be, but I hope that it does pretty well, because nowadays, everything is done over the internet. It is sometimes good when you have like a cute little store boutique that you can go to sometimes and pick up things. So I hope that that really works out for now. I actually like the name Posh and Prissy. I know when I was a little girl, people used to call me Prissy all the time before I even knew what that meant. Now that I'm older and I understand that, I probably am a little prissy, but not in an annoying way. But you just are who you are. Some women are just a little, they have that little prissiness in them. So I do understand that. But I like the name, and like I said, I hope that it works out well for Nell. So Destiny said that she said, I listen to you, I watch you, I've been around you and your family. She said, you're always carrying someone else's load. And bingo, Destiny hit the nail on the head. That is her problem. Nell takes on way too much. Nell wants to be a part of everything, and she takes on everyone else's burdens. And then when it becomes too much, or she gets angry or she's overwhelmed, she explodes. And then, it's not good for anyone else. Then she wants to sort of back out, or she wants out, or she wants someone to come in and rescue her. And I agree. Sometimes you have to just step back or not participate at all. Tell people, I don't want to hear what's going on. I don't need to know what's going on. And no, I just cannot help this time. So Nell talked about her meeting, her meetup with LaTisha. She said that she felt like it was good. She was glad that they had the meeting, and she felt like LaTisha was being genuine. And I agree. Like I said, I do believe that LaTisha can be wholeheartedly a genuinely nice person, but LaTisha just got some stuff with her, and right now maybe she's going through something else that we don't know about, but it's affecting how she comes across. So the sincerity or that genuineness that she could probably have, I'm not seeing it right now. So she mentioned that also Nell mentioned to Destiny that Chris Fletcher and Marcel got into it, and Destiny was a little surprised about that. She said she told Destiny what Marcel said, how they got into it, how Marcel was saying, you didn't mention it to me, and Chris told him, I don't have to tell you anything. You're not a part of my family. I don't owe you anything. She said that Nell said that Marcel also told him that his license sort of belonged to the community. And Nell, even confirmed, she said, hey, I agree with Marcel. She said maybe the way Marcel said it, he shouldn't have said it that way, but I agree with him. And Nell was saying it from the standpoint, she said, I told Chris that yes, people in this community need you. They need your help sometimes. With you being a Black realtor or real estate agent and stuff like that, and a broker and all these things, people need your help. She says sometimes, people even, that are so super successful, they even come to you for advice. A lot of different brokers come to you. So yes, this is something that kind of hurt you and sort of hurt the community. And so when Nell explained it that way, I understood it a lot better. Was Marcel wrong in his approach? Absolutely, positively. But when Nell broke it down, I did understand it a lot better. So Destiny said, well, Kimmi had a lot of questions about Chris and the whole losing his license. And, she said, but she just attributed, to the fact that, of course, Nell could not actually, Kimmi could not actually reach out to Nell. And so Nell was saying, yeah, I'm not close to these people. I'm not talking about that. It is what it is. Hopefully, it just doesn't go any further than that. Okay, if you have questions, cool, but don't make it your problem. And that's basically what Nell was saying, and I agree with that. So Marceau had a conversation with his daughter Macy. Macy is now in the 8th grade. Marceau was getting ready to cut the grass, and they were outside talking about gender roles. He was saying that MJ was getting ready to go to college, so basically Macy would have to step up and kind of do some of the household chores or things that MJ would do, and Macy was like, nope, I'm not doing it. You're my father, you're the man, you do it. So they had a cute little conversation about gender roles. Marceau said, well, yeah, you need to know certain things when you get married in your 40s. And Macy was like, you got married in college. He was like, well, I was out of college, but I had graduated from college, but it was after college. So Macy said, well, I'm going to get married after college. And so Marceau was just kind of telling her, certain things to look for in guys. He said, yeah, I know you've been talking to this one little guy. You think he's cute and he has a bald head like your father. She was like, no. But their banter is really, really cute. You can tell the softest part that Marceau actually has, you can see that reflected in his relationship with Macy. They just had like a cute little daddy-daughter talk, and I thought it was really cute. I love to see that. Men do not realize, people talk about, the importance of a father and a son having his father in his life, but it's also important that, that fathers are there for their daughters, because a woman, the first girl that she normally, the first man that a girl loves is her dad. And a lot of people don't look at it that way, and they don't realize that. And so whatever a lot of times you instill in your daughter, when you're there for your daughter and you make your daughter feel like that princess, and that like she's protected and provided for and she's loved, it can definitely keep her from a lot of heartache, because she's not going outside looking for something that she's never had. It's right there. And so I appreciate Marceau taking the time to even film with Macy. And Macy, she jokes with Marceau. She has that same kind of humor as him, but believe me, she's listening and she's taking it all in, and she's going to remember all those nuggets of wisdom that her father instilled in her. So that was a great little scene. So Trisha meets up with her friend Sharon. We've seen Sharon in the past on quite a few episodes. So they were discussing Latricia's separation from Ken. She was telling, Latricia was telling Sharon all about it. She said that yes, Ken has been talking to other people, but she has too. She said the only difference is that she was able to be honest with Ken about what she was doing, but Ken, in other words, has been hiding it and pretending that he's not doing it, when in actuality he is. Latricia says she does not like that part of Ken, because she feels like he should be able to be honest with her, and it's making her look at him a little differently. Sharon says that she's glad that they took a break, because someone could have gotten hurt. And I said that. I said Ken and Latricia need to call it quits before someone calls the cops, because both of them have that quick temper. Both of them get angry very quickly. Excuse me, guys. Both of them have that quick temper. They get angry quickly. Things can escalate. Ken has stormed out of the house. A lot of things have happened. And I agree with Sharon with as far as that's concerned. Sometimes a break is necessary, because it gives you a chance to get away before things get too bad. Latricia admitted that she loves Ken. She said it, but she said if it's meant to be, it will be. And it was, it was just a simple conversation. It was a deep conversation, but it was very simple at the same time. And that's true. If it's meant to be, it will be. Latricia's not going to chase Ken. She's going to try to do her part, but she's not going to go above and beyond, especially now that she sees that Ken is not being honest with her. So, ladies and gentlemen, the moment we've all been waiting for, dun, da, 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 It is Destiny and LaTisha, and it's the main event, the showdown between them. I've been wanting to get to this because I did not like this scene. I did not like how it went down, but let's talk about it. So LaTisha comes to Destiny, has a listing. Destiny was at the house. LaTisha comes in. Of course, you can tell LaTisha's already in war mode. She's ready to go. There was something that Destiny was talking about, showing the house or something like that. LaTisha's going back and forth with Destiny about what Destiny being wrong about something she said as far as showing the house. Destiny said, look, I've been in real estate for 19 years. She said basically Tisha's idea to come here, or her intent to come here, to come to the listing, she said basically she had ill intent. She did not come for the appropriate reasons, and she didn't. LaTisha definitely came to confront Destiny, and it wasn't the time. So Destiny was trying to keep it cute and keep it cool. So LaTisha said that they talked, LaTisha tried to play it off and say, yeah, I heard that you've been meeting with the ladies. And so Destiny said, yeah, she said, I heard the same thing. You met up with Nell, and she said Nell said that it went well and that, you were very genuine, and she felt really, really good about it. Again, Destiny therapy is working. Her tone was right. She didn't go off. She was trying to keep it cool. She saw where Tisha was going, but she did not let it get the best of her. She wasn't going to run away. She was going to stand right there. So LaTisha said that she doesn't understand, she understands that now, she's cool with Nell and stuff like that. But LaTisha's saying that, it's funny how Destiny seems to be able to defend everyone else, but she does not defend LaTisha. So Destiny was like, okay, what are you talking about? Destiny said that, what do you mean? What are you talking about? I do defend you many, many times, not just now, but over the years, I have defended you. So LaTisha comes out and says that Kimmi told her that Destiny was talking about her. I'm going to put a pin right there. Number one, I want to know what Kimmi told LaTisha. I don't know if LaTisha is over-exaggerating about what was told to her, or I don't know if Kimmi was being messy and telling LaTisha, sort of putting 20 on 10 and adding some more sauce to it to get LaTisha upset. Number one, Kimmi, let me deal with you. Kimmi, you are a very intelligent, articulate woman. You know how to put your words together. I don't know if in this moment you actually told LaTisha the truth, or if you were manipulating the situation, because that does happen sometimes when people know that they can trust you, or you have their ear. Oftentimes you have to be careful of what you say to them, because they take your word as the gospel. So I don't know if LaTisha just took your word as the gospel. I don't know if you told LaTisha exactly what was said, or I don't know, again, if you added more to it. If you added more to it just because you don't like Destiny, Kimmi, you were wrong, and I can't rock with you from that. LaTisha came in there sitting on ready. She was ready to go. She was ready to attack Destiny. So Destiny said, well, what did I say? Destiny knows what she said. Again, she's being calm. She's handling the situation appropriately. Destiny said, tell me what I said. LaTisha, she said, tell me in a way, if you saying that I'm not defending you, if I'm talking about you, what is it that I'm really saying? Destiny said, when people have called you stupid, when people have said things to you, I have always told everyone you are an extremely intelligent woman. I defend you all the time. She said, even when people talk about you and have said things about your marriage, I was right there. I tell people that you're a beautiful person all the time. So what am I saying about you? Kimmi, Tisha just kept saying that you're not a friend and I'm a good friend and I've defended you as well, and this, that, and the other. So Destiny said, well, let's talk about it. She said, you're saying things about me, but you also call me a hoe. She said, I don't like that. She said, I have a reputation in this business, even with the real estate thing. She said, over the years, she said, that's one thing, I've never carried myself as a hoe. So for you to be walking around saying that I'm a hoe is not necessarily sitting well with me either. So, Destiny told her, said straight up, she said, LaTisha, you're moody. She said, you pop off about nothing. I don't know what I'm going to get from you. She said, as far as, she said, well, how did you think that you could go and talk to Kimmi about me and not think that Kimmi wasn't going to tell me? Destiny said, I knew that Kimmi was going to tell you. She said, do you not think that I didn't know that Kimmi would come to you and tell you exactly what I said? And Destiny repeated what I said. She said, I told Kimmi that I don't know what I'm going to get from you, that our friendship is like a friend, like a friendship Tourette syndrome. Like, I don't know when you're going to say you're mad at me. That's what I told her. And so again, they started going back and forth. So then she said, well, no, I catch shade all the time. So Destiny said, okay, well, you calling me a hoe, what do you call that? Oh no, that was just a joke. Okay, see, now wait a minute. Now you can't sit up here and say that you calling Destiny a hoe is a joke, but then when Destiny said that it's like friendship Tourette's with you because she doesn't know when you're going to say whether someone's mad or not. Either way, that's semantics, and you're just a play on words. Either way, y'all both were kind of throwing a little shade at each other, but it wasn't that deep. So Destiny was like, girl, Kiki passed away. I immediately rushed over to you. I was there for you. You can't say that I haven't been a friend to you. You want to paint this picture as if you've just always been there for me. I've been there for you as well, LaTisha. LaTisha, do you know what she said, y'all? She said that was a year ago. When someone is grieving, does that not count? Certainly I'm not saying that you have to hold on to a person being there forever, ever, but it should count for something. I thought that was horrible. I wrote that. I said, LaTisha is playing the victim. And then so Tisha said, well, this is the way I feel about all of y'all. F y'all. She said, because all of y'all to me are fake and all y'all do is talk about me. And Destiny said, that is simply not true, LaTisha, but this is exactly what I'm talking about. You fly off the handle. You jump off the handle. How much do you really want our friendship? You said you wanted things to work out and you don't even really want to talk about it. You just want to point the finger and basically tell me that I'm wrong and I have to take it. And actually, I don't. And I said that Destiny is in, she's actually in therapy. This is not what Destiny needs, because Destiny is trying to heal and Destiny is trying to get better even with her communication. And somebody like LaTisha and being friends with LaTisha is something that will actually set her back in a way if she's not careful, because Destiny will kind of go back into that shell because she has to be vulnerable and she doesn't want to deal with it that way. And so that was pretty much the end of it. A lot more was said. Like I said, the exchange kept going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But like I said, LaTisha came there to argue with Destiny. She came thinking that she was going to set Destiny straight. She came there thinking that she was going to prove that Destiny was kind of like a loose cannon, and Destiny kept her cool. Destiny said, LaTisha, I love you as a friend. You don't have to walk away. You don't have to run away from me. We can still talk about it. LaTisha did everything to maintain the control in the conversation, and LaTisha actually stormed out of the house and stormed off. LaTisha still did not succeed in what she wanted to do. What she showed Destiny and everything that Destiny said about LaTisha was right. LaTisha is flighty. LaTisha is moody. LaTisha is back and forth. 1 minute they're good. The next minute they're back at one again. And Destiny was 100% correct. I'm going to say this. If you've been watching my video for a while, guys, you know that I pretty much, when I say something, I don't really go back and change my mind too much. I told you from the beginning, I do feel like Tisha's a genuine person, but I also, if you've been watching my videos, I feel like Destiny is just as genuine. I said that even when she, when her and Mel were kind of going through it, I said Destiny really is genuine. She's made some mistakes, but I do believe that Destiny is a good person. I don't like what LaTisha did. I definitely have issues with Kimmi. Like I said, I want to know exactly what Kimmi told LaTisha. They did not air that. They did not show that. If Kimmi told LaTisha the truth and she just made it more than what it is, then LaTisha has some issues and there's some other things going on with LaTisha. But if Kimmi presented it as if Destiny was sort of talking about LaTisha like a dog, then like I said, Kimmi, you have a lot of issues that you need to get together. Like I said, Maurice basically told you, he basically wanted out. He wanted you to be happy with someone else. And he said that to your face. How you interpreted that, I don't know. But apparently, if you read between the lines and you're a smart woman, you knew that that man was saying that he didn't want you. So if Destiny said that LaTisha's friend, her friendship with LaTisha is, you know, like, it's like Tourette's. She doesn't know when she's going to be angry. LaTisha will come out of the clear blue and say, I'm angry, I'm mad with you. If you read between the lines of that, you also would get the, you would come to the conclusion and you would have the understanding that Destiny is saying that LaTisha and I have a friendship where it's like a tennis match. We're back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. What else you could take from that, I don't know. But I would like to know what you said, because if you said anything other than what Destiny said, then you wanted there to be some tension there, and you wanted it to be an issue. And I don't know if these ladies are just trying to set up storylines for the next season or whatever the case may be. But if that was the case, that wasn't good, and Kimmi is actually the problem. And LaTisha, Kimmi is not your friend, because if Kimmi does not want you to have peace even in your friendships, that ain't cool, and I can't rock with that. So like I said, I'm not going to hold Kimmi to it, because Kimmi may not have even said it in that way. LaTisha could have just taken a little bit of what Kimmi said and ran down the street with it. If Kimmi did it the opposite way, then I don't like Kimmi that you did it. But I'm going to try to stand and hold fast right now until we maybe find out a little later what was really said. LaTisha, you overreacted. You were out of order about it. Either you want to be friends with Destiny or you don't. If you can't trust Destiny, or you feel like she doesn't defend you, or you feel like she's not being a friend to you, let Destiny go altogether. Stop playing this, being in this ping pong match of trying to control Destiny. You have to allow Destiny to be who she is if she's your friend. If the friendship is salvageable and you feel like it's worth fighting for, then do that and let Destiny be who she is, and allow her to be a friend to you, and allow the friendship to get back on track. If you cannot do it, again, let it go altogether. And we don't want to hear anything more, anything else about how someone is not loyal to you. And that was the end of the episode, guys. Please let me know what you think about it. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it, even if you just like the video, if you watch it. I know sometimes people are just watching and then they go on about their day or they go on about their business. But guys, I would really appreciate if you would just click that like button, and also subscribe to my channel. If you're listening, if if this video was shared with you or whatever, please subscribe to my channel. I really, again, I also appreciate that as well. And let me know what you think, guys. I mean, I know sometimes people don't like to comment. They really don't have nothing to say. They just want to pretty much hear about what happened. They listen to the reviews, and I really appreciate that. But also, if you want to leave me a comment, please feel free to let me know what you think. How do you feel about this episode, guys? How do you feel about the conversation between Kimmi and Destiny? Do you feel like Kimmi told LaTisha the truth and LaTisha just added a little more to it? Or do you think that Kimmi actually kind of went in on Destiny and said some other things and maybe added something to what the conversation that she had with Destiny? How do you feel about Ken and Latricia? Do you think it's time for them to call it quits? Do you think it's time for them to go their separate ways? Or do you really feel like their relationship, they can actually be okay and rebound from this? Also, let me know what you think about Destiny and LaTisha's conversation. Whose side are you on? Are you team Destiny or are you team LaTisha, or neither? Let me know how you feel about that, and I will gladly respond to you. I love hearing other people's perspectives. I even listen to a lot of other YouTubers and content creators and see what they have to say. I always try to make my videos before I listen to anyone else. But let me know, like I said, let me know what you think. And like I said, have a great day. It is Sunday. I hope you're, whether you went to church or you're out brunching or you're just relaxing at home, I hope you have an amazing day. Tonight we have Atlanta and we also have Rory, and I will be coming with another review tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. So again, have a good day. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you on the next video. Love you guys. Hugs to you. Bye-bye.